Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 2, 19.2, Java I/O system. After understanding Java streams and files, we need to understand Java I/O system. As I told you already, Java, for the purpose of I/O management, it provides a big set of classes, a large number of classes. As I told you the number, 70 classes and subclasses, and 12 interfaces, and hundreds of methods for performing I/O operations. Actually, most of these classes are representing input operations as well as corresponding output operations. Simply, you can identify by their names. For example, file input stream classes, file output stream classes, the corresponding file input stream classes, file output stream classes, buffered input stream classes, buffered output stream classes, data input stream classes, data output stream classes, object input stream classes, and object output stream classes. By this example, you can understand that without knowing the complete details also, why so many number of classes are required. Means for the sake of specialization, for the sake of providing efficiency in the I/O operations, Java provided this number of classes. Now let us see the structure, what input stream classes are doing, what output stream classes are doing. Now first we should have an idea. If we have many people, many students are having abstract idea, anybody questions and all that, they are not in a position to answer it properly. Otherwise, they give some answer which may not be correct or complete. That's why I am focusing on each and every point. You crystallize your knowledge on each and every concept. That is very, very important. Once you have clear idea on particular concept, you can deliver it properly. If you have half knowledge, it is much dangerous than having no knowledge. Understand? So here you see, these are the input devices like a keyboard, mouse, disk, memory, network connection. Because from all of them we can get input. Now through input streams, the data is transferred or transmitted to a program. What program does? IPO. It takes input and it processes the input data and get ready the output, that is result. So these are all input streams. By that, from all these devices, the input is transmitted to a program, and then program will be in a position to process it and generate result. Thereafter, after results are generated or output is generated, it is not for the program, it should be displayed. For that purpose, a set of output devices are there. What are they? Monitor screen, memory, disk, printer, network connection. In this context, one important point I have to tell you. Here there are some common. Actually, this is pure input device. Mouse, this is pure input device. Disk, both sides are there. This is I/O device. Don't call it simply a input device or output device. Disk is a I/O device. It is useful for input as well as output. In interviews and all that, they ask this type of questions because your IQ, your presence of mind is very much required. This is purely input device, this is purely input device, disk is a I/O device. Memory, this is also input device and output device both, and network connection, this is also useful for both input and output. So I/O. As far as monitor screen is concerned, only output device. Memory, both I/O. Disk, both I/O. Printer, only output device. So, network connection, both I/O. Understand? In this way, meticulously understand. One time, if you focus on that, you can deliver your answers properly. Always, while you are answering, focus on three aspects: complete, correct, and coherent. And one more also, it should be precise. That point also. Don't give bigger answers and all that. You compress and give a precise answer, because people do not have that much patience to listen. That's why if you give precise answer, if they want any more information, they will ask. Always focus on that. This is the way input streams and output streams contribute for performing I/O operations. These are represented by input stream classes. These are represented by output stream classes. That point you have to understand. Thereafter, after understanding it generally, let us come to a program. Now, how data is passed, what is the role of streams, you can understand here clearly. Now you see, this is the source. Source means you remember this one of that. This is the source. From the source, whatever data you send, it enters into input stream. Thereafter, from now you call reading. Reading activity means from who is reading. In your program, you write reading code like a scanf. Then your program reads data. That process is called reading. If your program is reading some data, means what is the physical activity being done? Extracting data from the input stream. You understand the reality. Extracting the data from the input stream is called reading. Then your data, the input data, enters into your program for the sake of processing. Thereafter, your program generates result by processing. Thereafter, your program having a data to deliver. So, in order to deliver it, again it wants a stream. What is the stream? That is output stream. It has to insert the data. It has to insert the data into output stream. So, from the output stream, it enters into the destination, such as a monitor screen. So, that's why these words you have to understand: extraction, and insertion. That's why in C++, this is called extraction operator, this is called insertion operator. Symbolically, they created the operators like that. You must understand that. So, in this way, I/O operations are performed in Java. Here, one thing I am telling you, there are number of streams, but all streams are having some common feature. What is that? All streams support the sequential access of data. All streams, regardless of its name and nature, they support sequential access of data. That is number one feature, common feature. Number two feature is all are unidirectional. Unidirectional means some type of streams are this, some type of streams are this. These are one-way traffic. Input streams in one direction, see that input stream, this is the output stream. This is in a different direction. That's why, as I told you, for all input streams, input stream classes are there, and corresponding output stream classes are there. And one more thing also, we perform complex I/O operations, but no operation is complex by itself. We perform simple operations only. By composing simple operations and all that, a complex operation is performed. So, if you analyze that, a source, now we have seen one source and one destination, and the source may be any hardware device like keyboard, mouse, internet connection, etc., or it may be a program, or it may be any other stream. So, in this manner, First, if you learn uh, small stream oriented operations, by composing all of them we can form complex operations. They are created in such a fashion one is compatible with the other. So, first before proceeding to study about Java IO package classes, you must understand Java IO system. This is very basic knowledge.